What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all remember, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button ASAP. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the like button to everybody viewing this video. I definitely appreciate that a ton, right? So I'm calling cap on a narrative that's being put out there by Terence Crawford, right? Welterweight champion Terence Crawford doing the press runs. He's doing the press runs early for this Errol Spence fight. It is going crazy. And it's probably this fight, this interview, I'm sure was done weeks before the fight was actually announced. But I'm sure Terence knew that the fight was going to be made. So he's doing his press runs early, right? He goes on $1 million worth of game podcast with Gilly and Wallow, one of my favorite podcasts. And he starts talking about, because Gilly basically put it out there that he believes that Errol Spence has a better resume at 147 than Terence. He feels like Terence is more accomplished overall career-wise, as being like champion across 3 different weight classes, being undisputed at a weight class, so on and so forth. But he felt like Errol has fought the better competition, which to me, that's not debatable to me. It's not. It's clear Errol has fought better competition than Bud at the 147 pound weight class, right? But nonetheless, Bud starts talking about, he started trying to break down, I guess, his accomplishments or his fights against certain individuals compared to Errol. And he brings up Kell Brook. And he says he fought the better version of Kell Brook than Errol Spence did. And again, when I heard this, I'm scratching my head. I'm looking like, dog, for real? Really, dog? Really? You don't believe that. Terence is a very smart man. He does not believe that shit at all. And again, Terence is highly skilled, a dope fighter. But knock it off, Terence. He says, and I'm going to tell you his argument right now. I'm going to lay it out for y'all. Terence says when he fought Kell Brook, Kell was on a 3-fight winning streak, right? So he wasn't coming off a loss. He wasn't coming off an injury. Because, because this is his point. He said when Kell fought Errol, he wasn't healed up all the way yet. His eye was messed up and he was weight drained because he had went up in weight to fight Triple G, right? And so Bud's point is, hey, when he fought me, he was coming off 3 wins. He wasn't coming off an injury. And then Kell Brook himself said it was the best he had ever felt in his career. So I fought the better version of Kell Brook because, hey, he was coming off of 3 wins when he fought me. And when I heard Terence say this, I say, okay, yeah, the brother was coming off of 3 wins when he fought you, but he was coming off 3 wins against who? Against who, dog? Dog, who was he fighting that he was coming off 3 wins against? And then we can judge if that was really something that if it was really like a monumental point in his career based upon the 3 wins he had before he fought you. The 3 wins before he fought Terence Crawford: Sergey Rabchenko, Michael Zarafa, Mark DeLuca. Dog, no. Mark DeLuca. Come on, fam. That was his 3 wins, and you tell me he come out 3 wins. He wasn't fighting no monsters. He talking like Kell just got out of there fighting Sean Porter and beating Sean again, or he came out there and beat top welterweight like Yordenis Ugas or something before he fought. And I'm like, what? No. Terence, no disrespect for Terence, because no disrespect to Terence. I got a lot of respect for him, even though I'm picking Errol Spence Jr. for sure. But Terence, come on, dog, 3 wins against them dudes. That is not something noteworthy at all, at fucking all. But nonetheless, let's continue, right? Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, Terence tripping he's tripping like hell, because truthfully, when I'm looking at this, kind of like context is key in every situation, in analyzing a situation. You got to remember, context matters. Yeah, again, he got them 3 wins, but against who, right? And when I heard this, I started, in my mind, the wheels start turning in my mind. I'm thinking like, hold on, Bud forgot he fought Kell Brook. Like, Kell Brook's last fight at 147 before he fought Bud was like 2017. He fought Bud in what? Let me see. Was it 2020 he fought Bud? What did he fought? Yeah, November 2020. Kell last fight at welterweight was 2017 against Errol. After that, he moved up in weight. And those 3 wins that Terence talking about was at the at 154. So like, what are we talking about, right? And then to make matters worse, after he came back down to fight Terence at 147, He lost to Terence and then fought his next fight at a catch weight of 149 pounds against Amir Khan. That lets me know he was no longer comfortable at 147. It was shot at that point. It was shot. So to act like you be the better version of Kell Brook, come on, that's just nonsense, famo. If he think that Bud smoking that Bud, he's smoking that Bud. He's smoking Bud too if he believe he bought a better version of Kell Brook. Like, that's not, come on, man. And to me, I'm also add this in. Bud fought Kell Brook when Kell was older, 3 years older. At that point, he had already been stopped. Because he said that Errol fought Kell right after he got stopped. When Bud fought Kell, he had been stopped twice, and then both of his orbital bones had been broken on both eyes, right? So he was even more damaged and aged when he fought Bud than when he fought Errol. So what are we talking about? He was you saying Errol fought a beat up, damaged version? The man had excuse me. The man at that point had both of his orbital bones broken. Both of them. So, like, what are we talking about? Like, I'm like, Terence, come on, man. And when I'm hearing that and when I'm remembering, recalling that information, it's clear that Errol's win over Kell is way more significant. It holds more weight than Bud's win over him. First of all, Errol Spence went over to the UK to look like a damn sold out crowd. I mean, like, he went over to Kell's home country and beat Kell and brought the IBF strap back home. Walked into, I'm talking about the crazy odds, right? And when Errol fought him at that point, Kell was looked at as, hey, he the guy that ain't nobody really fucking with him at 147. They're like, oh, Kell will beat Keith. He'll beat, he beat Sean at that point. Who else he beat? He beat Sean at that point, and people looking like, yo, we gonna see. We think he'll get everybody out here. We think he'll get, people was thinking he'll beat Danny, all of that. So it's like, yo, nah, we not doing that. We not doing that at all. And to me, again, at that point when Terence fought Kell was, I ain't gonna lie, I was happy for Terence to get that fight. But in retrospect, after seeing that, I'm like, was Kell really like almost out the door for real? I don't know, but you gotta give Terence credit for the win. He beat him. He stopped him. He stopped Kell. But that Kell ain't the same Kell that Errol Spence fought. To me, and it's not even close. It's not. At that point, you had some people yelling and screaming after that fight that Kell was more washed up than my daughter's school uniform throughout the school week. They was saying Kell was more washed up than the damn dishes at the big family dinner on Sunday. Seriously. Right? That's what they were saying. So, I don't know, more washed up than a dude trying to go get him some action after he finished working out. That's what they were saying, that, that's how they were saying Kell was that washed up after that fight against Bud. I ain't gonna just holler. He was a shell of himself. I ain't gonna holler washed up. He was a shell of himself for sure, and he wasn't the same guy that Errol fought in 2017. And Bud know that. But Bud trying to spin the narrative in his way, and I get it. You trying to, make a case for yourself and you win and all this and all that, because you don't want nobody to discredit it. But I know what I saw, dog. I know what was going on at that time when you was fighting Kell. Ain't no way Bud really believed he fought the better version of Kell Brook. Can't be. And if he does, again, he's smoking that Bud too. He's smoking that Bud. So if he really think that, because I'm not, dog. We not doing that. We not doing that, man. So yeah, I think that is a big ass lie from Terence Crawford. And I mean, listen, man, I think he just gotta listen. He can live with the fact that he's more accomplished throughout his career than Errol, and gotta recognize that Errol is fought better competition at 147. Cause the dudes T-Bud Crawford was fighting, as much as he's a fantastic fighter, we didn't know who they was. We didn't know the mean green Jolly Martian machine, the mean machine dude, Kavalauskas. We didn't know him. You know what I mean? I definitely didn't know David and his niece and them, David Avanesian, David Milk and Magnesia. I didn't know who he was. Right? At that point, Amir Khan have been knocked out and stopped by everybody and their mama, your cousin, your grandmama whooped Amir Khan's ass at that point. So I knew, I'm like, man, Terence finna whoop his ass, which he did, right? Kell Brook. Kell was long, Kell was no longer who he was in 2017. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, come on, dog. Nah. He gotta just be okay with accepting that he don't got the stronger resume at 147. He said, we say that, but he don't. He don't, dog. Cause truth be told, and outside of Sean Porter, and people can say, it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback. You can say this, you can say that, and styles do make fights for sure. And Errol is not he's not a harder puncher than Terence Crawford. I will admit that, right? But everybody that outside of Sean, and I give Bud full credit for stopping Sean, even though they all say it's a stoppage by his parents, his dad. It was premature and early because Sean wasn't hurt or Sean wasn't out of it. I'm gonna tell you right now, Sean was gonna get stopped eventually in that fight. He was, right? So I get it to him. But outside of Sean Porter, Errol would have knocked out all them dudes at 147. Benavidez, Jeff Horn, Cavalas's Mean Machine. He would have knocked out David and his niece and them. He would have knocked out Amir Khan's ass too. So, nah, dog. It's okay that Errol got a better resume. You got a better overall career, and that's fine. But y'all can figure it out and thump it out.